Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the greed and the avarice of the Attorney General of the Federation of Nigeria, Abubakar Malami, the greed and avarice of this guy knows no bounds, and this guy might well be singularly the biggest problem that country is contending with. A lot of people blame Buhari, but yes, the blame does go to Buhari because he created the enabling environment for elements like Abubakar Malami to flourish. But Abubakar Malami, being one of the central figures of the cabal and being one of the most greedy and the most ruthless, might well be singularly the biggest problem that the country is contending with. Abubakar Malami more or less singularly runs the Buhari regime. If you take Abubakar Malami and then you take the customs guy and then you take a few shadowy names that we don't know, including the one that ran with Abiola in those days, I can't quite recall his name, then you have really the runnings of Nigeria. But at the arrowhead of the runnings of Nigeria, now that Abakari is no longer with us, at the arrowhead of the cabal that runs the affairs of the Nigerian state is Abubakar Malami. And Abubakar Malami is led by two things and two things only. He is not even about the Fulanization agenda, because that Fulanization agenda is just a necessary tool for him to carry out his main ambitions. So the two ambitions that this guy has, Abubakar Malami, is for money and power, and the money is just making hands over fist within this Buhari regime. This guy now, I can bet you my bottom dollar, this guy now is 10 times richer than Dangote as we speak now, because he's just looting everything that comes his way. So now he's now escalating now that greed and avarice, that lust and luster for money and power, is now escalating it by 1,000-fold. As guys, I bring you this. AGF Malami plans to pursue 2023 presidential ambition with firm control of EFCC funds. So this guy, of course, he has now seized control of the EFCC. Abubakar Malami we're talking about, he has now seized control of the EFCC, haven't gotten rid of Ibrahim Magu, and then put his own boy in charge of the EFCC. So all of the funds of the EFCC, of course, now goes to him. And of course, now he's now not even looking to be even richer now. He's already wealthy or under the Buhari regime, but is now not even looking to be even wealthier than he is already. He's now looking to build a war chest to pursue now that first seat in Aso. Again, the headline, AGF Malami plans to pursue 2023 presidential ambition with firm control of EFCC funds. So now let's now see what's being said here. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami has begun moves to take a shot at the 2023 presidency, correspondents learned. Malami's bid, it was further gathered, will rely heavily on funds in the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission under the care of the new chairmanship. Correspondents learned that Malami, who has the new EFCC chairman, 40-year-old Abdulrasheed Bawa, in his pocket, has shelved his earlier ambition of contesting the Kebbi state governorship election and is rather eyeing the presidency now. It was gathered that Malami will use his influence in the presidency to attempt to change the permutation in the All Progressive Congress, or rather look for another party as cover to pursue his ambition. The AGF has upgraded to presidential campaign. He has abandoned the Kebbi state governorship ambition. He said he is too big to contest for governor, having made so much money under the Buhari administration. He has been a minister for 8 years and now he's in charge of the EFCC After putting Bawa, his boy, there, he was desperate to take over the anti-graft agency so that he could make more money and determine candidates for the 2023 election, a source close to Malami said. Malami was instrumental in the sacking of the former acting EFCC chairman, Ibrahim Magu, from office after having years of discord with Magu. As part of its grand plot to achieve its 2023 ambition, the AGF had also fought to ensure that President Muhammadu Buhari appointed Bawa, despite detailed investigation indicting the 40-year-old of fraudulent acts. Correspondents had earlier reported that a 13-page investigation report by the EFCC, which indicted Bawa, who was then the Port Harcourt zonal head, was forwarded to President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019, but the president failed to read or act upon it. The report, titled Investigation Report, Re-alleged Case of Conspiracy, Abuse of Office, and Criminal Diversion of Federal Government Property, in which the suspect was Abdulrasheed Bawa, detailed how Bawa was recommended for disciplinary actions. It had been exposed that the report was forwarded to the president's office, but the AGF influenced how it was dumped and not acted upon by President Buhari. Only last Thursday, the chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, Professor Itzasage, had warned that he was not comfortable with the fact that Malami and the new EFCC chairman Bawa shared the same state of origin. He had expressed fears about the influence Malami would have on Bawa, which would impair the activities of the commission. I noticed that they both come from the same state of Kebbi and they may even be related. For me, that is not a very healthy thing, because the chairman of the EFCC and the EFCC are supposed to be independent. They are not politicians. They are trained security officers. The Attorney General is a politician who has all the weaknesses and loads of a politician. He has people he's obliged to, Sagi had said. So there you have it now, ladies and gentlemen. One of the biggest problems of this Buhari regime, if not the biggest problem, is this actually Abubakar Malami guy. This guy is completely ruthless one. He is the one, by the way, that makes up all these trumped up charges against what is his name, against Showore. He's the one that got rid of Walter Onoge and put Tanko Mohammed there. He's the one that got rid of Ibrahim Magu and put his own cousin from his own state there, and it's the one now that is selling all the oil tanks that are seized within the EFCC and pocketing all the money, and it's the one that is just rewriting the legal books of Nigeria to say that what the constitution says is just a recommendation when it applies to Malam Buhari and his clansmen, and the constitution does not bind them in any way. The example being the minimum school cert requirements that we went through in 2019. So an absolute abandonment of constitutionality, with this guy now just being a law unto himself, and that law that he is unto himself is only to serve his own purpose and feather his own nest. And now all of the monies that he has been gathering is sufficient now to run a presidential election. Do you know how much it costs to run a presidential election in Nigeria? You're talking about a $2-3 billion spend. That is really the sort of money, because a lot of the people that you have to pay off, a lot of the people that you have to buy off, a lot of the campaigning that has to take place, a lot of the logistics, a lot of there's so much that goes into the Nigerian presidency. And to buy, because make no mistake, the Nigerian presidency is not anything to do with the Nigerian electorate. It is bought and sold at the highest table. So to buy the Nigerian presidency, it's a vast fortune. So this guy now has to amass enough money to stand up against Tinubu, who is fantastically rich already. So this guy now, to stand toe to toe to Tinubu, he has to effectively loot the entire treasury of Nigeria for the remaining few years that he has there, in addition to all of the ones that he had been looting up to date. So this is now what, imagine that this guy, he sacked the former EFCC chairman because the guy was not doing his bidding, and then he went and picked somebody from his own state. The person that Sage is saying that is a relative of his, a family member of his, and he has put him in the EFCC office. And to add insult to injury, the relative member that he has gone to pick from his own home state to install as the EFCC chairman is somebody that his hands are completely murky with corruption. This is a known thief within the EFCC, has now been made the chairperson of the EFCC. So this is the goings on. So you then wonder what checks and balances are in place within Aso Rock, or does Buhari just sign any papers that are put in front of him and it just says carry on? Because of course the reports, as we are now hearing from this piece, had been presented to Buhari a long time ago about the corrupt practices of this now new chairman of the EFCC. Nothing was done about it, and to add again insult to injury, not only was nothing done about the disciplinary recommendations that were made against this guy, he has actually now been rewarded with the EFCC post. So this just tells you everything now, and it's completely game on now between Tinubu and Abubakar Malami, because he is going to use the weight of everything that is within his power, you see, to fight this thing. So don't be surprised then if later on this year or early next year there are now moves being made to bring Tinubu up on corruption charges, or his name will be mired in corruption allegations to the point that would drive him out of the runnings for the 2023 presidency. And then after the 2023 presidency, they'll just forget all the cases and just carry on with their looting. So this is now how things are now within the Nigerian state. This guy from Kebbi State with ambitions beyond his capacity is now the person now that has seized charge of the entirety of the Nigerian space with the singular aim of replacing his doting old grandfather who sits atop the Nigerian space at the moment. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section, but before you come into the comment section to engage, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, Abubakar Malami has brought his sister's son to come and be the chairperson of the EFCC, so that the idiot boy can be funneling money from the Nigerian treasury into the bank account of the Malamis. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.